for you today. My name is Shed. I'm joined by Meldon. How are you today?
Hey there, Shed. I'm doing great after that incredible third place match. I'm not sure if this can live up to the hype, but knowing these two runners, I'm very confident they'll do their best to try.
Yeah, I watched all three of those last races, and if we get anything half as exciting as that match was, I will still be very very excited for this match coming up. So, what can you tell us about the our two finalists here?
So Sigma, of course, is the designer architect of the randomizer. He's been the primary developer since its creation back in May of 2017, I believe. And he's very good at it and knows a lot about it as a result of that. So I think he's probably a slight favorite coming into this, but Covert Muffin's no slouch. He won last year's tournament, and he's been practicing a ton, although he let us know he hasn't been practicing quite as much over the last week, has been focusing a little more on actually watching some of Sigma's matches to try and get a advantage over his opponent in that way.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten a lot of insight about randomizer and strategy from Muffin. He thinks about this kind of stuff a lot, and he's definitely someone to look out for. Honestly, I can't really call who I think is favored in this match. Like, I might give a slight edge to Sigma, but I really just think these two are pretty even, and we'll have to see how the whole races shake out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you could give a slight general execution advantage to Sigma, but Covert Muffin has practiced a lot of the randomizer specific tech, and that can be really important. Stuff like Glideless Sorrow or just very minimal skill escapes. Although Sigma did make the tutorial video for minimal skill escapes, so is definitely very knowledgeable about those as well.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a battle of knowledge titans going on.
Yeah, so
we are going to go ahead and get started soon. So as soon there was the race screen and Muffin showing us a wonderful cutscene, except it's the worst cutscene because birds die. But
yeah, we won't have to watch that part of it. And our runners are off. Looks like both of them getting a decent prologue skip, and wishing us some luck after seeing that seed load in. And do you have any predictions for what this seed's going to give us?
I don't even know. We've seen everything at this point from the tournament seeds. Looks like we're just going to start off with a boring old keystone for now, though, which is fine enough. Solid start, pretty standard. They'll know what's up, provided we get another keystone. We of course don't have to.
Yeah, I don't actually know if finding a first keystone increases the chance of a second one, but it definitely feels that way. 2 keystone is kind of the most common start, and I wouldn't even be surprised. Yeah, there we go. This next pickup is a keystone, so we will indeed be heading left through to the wall jump tree to start this seed off.
I'll be picking up our buddy Sign, our first skill. This one is, of course, is guaranteed because we kind of need the ability to attack. So now that we have that, we can progress to the rest of the seed. And since we have those 2 keystones that you mentioned, we'll head into Glades and get a lot of pickups in. And who knows what our next progression skill is going to be.
And there's even a chance we could still see a teleporter mapstone starts. I remember Sigma telling me one of his recent practice seeds was a mapstone 3 climb where the mapstones were in Grotto, in Grove, and then on the wall jump tree.
That sounds terrible.
I'm sure neither of our runners really wants to see that, but it's always a possibility.
Well, we have the most keystone start basically possible, 4 of them, and a bunch of XP in the water that doesn't look like either runners is going to opt to keep. We'll be heading into left.
Yeah, so not much of a potential difference in routes right now. It's a very linear start when you only find these keystones. They do find a nice mapstone there, which kind of simplifies the routing for this little area here. Don't have to worry about heading over to this map.
I'm going to go see that map 1 check right now, and it is Charge Flame. Okay, so that opens exactly 1 pickup right now, but is also nice to have moving forward. You have access to that blue wall breakage and the plant breakage and all that. You have kind of a decision now as a runner. You can decide to head up and check that 1 pickup that having Charge Flame unlocks. Looks like that's what Sigma's going to opt to do. See if Muffin decides the opposite, is going to head down and get his wall jump tree. So we got an interesting little split here from our runners.
Yeah, this is very interesting indeed. Depending on if this is a useful skill, this could turn out very well for Sigma. Although Muffin finds charge jump, I believe, there. So turns out that just continuing on in this direction was the correct call. If Sigma chooses to go back to the charge flame tree anytime soon, he will end up losing a little bit of time compared to Muffin on that play.
Yeah, so just a little bit of luck here means that Muffin's going to have a more efficient route through this early game. I don't suspect this is going to lose Sigma too much time moving forward. And having charge jump is, of course, great. It's probably the best form of verticality to get early on. It opens up a lot of pickups, some of which you don't even usually get to pick early game. So we'll see a bunch of different stuff that's pretty atypical.
Yeah, really nice thing about having early charge jump here is checking that XP to the right of the wall jump tree. It's so easy to forget it and never come back for it. So it's kind of a weird relief to be able to check it right now.
Absolutely. Muffin has collected the wall jump tree. I don't think we found anything of particular importance there. He's going to be heading back up and out and probably doing Spirit Caverns or maybe the charge flame tree first. We'll see what he opts to do. Looks like a Spirit Caverns. So we'll see some new pickups from him.
Yeah, I really like going here first since he's not going to be opening this door at any point. So he might as well just check these and then head elsewhere. He can of course just head straight up from the charged flame tree since he has charge jump to break that ceiling.
On the other hand, Sigma is going to head immediately into Blackroot right now. That's an interesting decision. Or he might actually, I've seen Sigma do this in the past. He might do like go down, collect the orb, altar out, and then go do something else in Glades and come back to Blackroot later. I've seen him do that a couple times. So maybe that's what he's deciding to do right now. We'll see exactly what he opts for. Muffin is done with Spirit Caverns and is now heading in the direction of the Charge Flame Tree. Stopping to check one pickup on the way.
Yeah, this early check into BRB can be a nice way to spend some ability points while you have them. You want to get some of those abilities leveled up. Magnet, Regroup are both very useful to try and stay healthy and collect a little extra XP and energy. And it's inconvenient to just play through the rest of the seed without them right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And Muffin just found Stomp, which I think Sigma missed that. It was the plant at Charge Flame. Did he not have enough energy to check
Sigma
that when he went there?
didn't have any way to get up the wall. He only had Charge
Oh
Flame.
yeah, he hasn't actually gone to the Charge Flame tree yet. Of course.
Right. So Stomp now isn't... It's great to have. Like, that is a good skill to have that brings you towards Go mode. We're not there yet, obviously, but it is an important piece of a lot of Go mode skill sets, but doesn't open up a whole lot for them right now. It does mean that you have the option of heading to Grotto by way of Blackroot, which is particularly interesting to me.
Yeah, although I think that would need wall interaction to actually be in logic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of almost there. Oh
no,
Sigma having a little bit of trouble with that, but is able to get back up to this platform before the orb despawns, so not as much of a time loss as that could have been. What a great save.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was a pretty heads up play from Sigma to get back up onto that platform before the orb despawned. If it had despawned, that would have been a disastrous time.
He has skipped this cutscene and will be checking the map stone while it starts to play out, and then stacking these to get out of the dash tree cutscene as soon as possible. He, of course, doesn't have a way to get up to the dash plant right now. Doesn't have climb or wall jump. He does have charge jump, but without any wall interaction, that that wall is very difficult to climb.
Definitely. I would expect to see Sigma check this ability cell down here and perhaps Altar, or head back up and out. That is also fine. Heading down to Razno with the C jump skill allows you access to a couple pickups down there and a teleporter. Or I don't think you can get that, Sigma.
So I know this is definitely possible with Charge Flame Burn,
Yeah.
which of course you could use Charge Flame Burn to get it just from in the crushers. I'm not sure if this is possible with only these skills. So Sigma may also not know, or if it is possible, might just not want to put the time investment into it and is moving on.
By the looks of it, if that is possible, it's probably dependent on signs like bobbing back and forth RNG, which sounds terrible and not worth it. So, yeah, Sigma has decided to head down to this boulder escape area. See, jump over the boulder and he'll be able.
Sign RNG is, I think, the worst form of RNG yet in this game.
Yes. Heartily agreed.
Alright, so Sigma will be able to get 2 more checks here, and looks like he's going to entirely skip the teleporter. At least for now, he might just be grabbing this boulder and then coming back to it. And he just alt-stars out of the era. That's, I think, a very reasonable decision. It's unlikely he'll need that teleporter at a later time. When he's heading into lower BRB, he can just go through the entrance of BRB itself.
See, we know that Stomp is accessible right now. It's right here at the Charge Flame tree. So that teleporter, if he had grabbed it with Stomp, would have been very, very fast access to Gumo's hideout.
That's a very good point. I didn't consider that at first, but he might end up having to head back that way to go through that area with Stomp.
So a little bit unfortunate. It depends on exactly what Sigma decides to do right now and which direction he heads. It looks like he's prepping for a Spirit Caverns check, which we have seen from Muffin and had a grand total of basically nothing, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate for Sigma, but we'll see what Muffin decides to do. I would expect him to use the Stomp to break into Gumo's hideout, but of course, don't know exactly what's going through his head right now.
I know that Muffin liked doing this Stomp peg even with only Bash to bring the Frankie up and sequence break his way in that way. So I'm not at all surprised that he's choosing to go through right now.
Grab the teleporter.
Yeah, he'd already stomped the floor down to BRB, so grabbing that teleporter didn't involve a cutscene. It was just a very quick check. Oh, wow, and he finds Glide on, I think that was our second map, which isn't a big deal right now. It provides a little bit of extra maneuverability, but if they don't find the Sorrow teleporter, that makes Sorrow a whole lot nicer. Of course, Sigma will very likely find that. He doesn't have a mapstone yet, but as soon as he does, he'll put it in one of the accessible mapstones on the right side.
I didn't catch where that mapstone came from, because Sigma has only ever put in one. Okay, it came from right there. Never mind. Thank you for answering my question, Sigma. It came from the right of spawn, and he'll be able to put that in somewhere. And looks like he is actually going to opt to do that back route, maybe? Yeah, okay. So he's going to follow in Muffin footsteps, although he's going to take him quite a while since he did not actually grab that teleporter.
Yeah, so his the 2 decisions he's made so far, this decision to go check that Charge Flame XP early on, and then skipping this teleporter here, have ended up giving Muffin a nice lead at this point. But it looks like Sigma is going to also come back and check this dash plant again, at least give it a couple more tries. He has a save right next to it and has 2 energy. Or he's going to go straight up to Charge Flame and finds a mapstone.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so Sigma unlocks Charge Flame Burn, which increases the radius of the Charge Flame, allowing you to hit that plant much easier. Much, much easier. And yeah, that mapstone is probably not going to be important, but it might be. We'll see what we end up finding on mapstones, or if Muffin even finds, like, another one. But Sigma being 1 mapstone up, like I said, could matter, could not. Oh!
Oh, that's a rough death.
Crushers, please.
That's very unfortunate to see. Kind of no fault of Sigma's. The game just decided that he didn't belong on that crusher and it wanted to kill him.
Yeah, sometimes it'll just do that. We don't know exactly why that happens. So Muffin, meanwhile, we've been focusing on Sigma for a while, but Muffin has been doing a bunch of the bottom of Gumo's hideout. Hasn't found a whole lot of interest, just some XP in the double jump tree, not a whole lot anywhere else, so he's going to be heading somewhere else, perhaps maybe teleporting back to that teleporter and going up. That would not be a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think he just decided he didn't want to do the escape from the double jump tree with only charge jump, no wall interaction. Much easier to head over this way and then do the boulder escape sequence from kind of this main area. So Sigma will be able to get a slight mapstone lead compared to Muffin. Muffin won't have that third map until he finds whatever current one is in sequence. Potential revisit to Grotto if they end up needing maps, but it's fairly unlikely.
It's kind of an uncommon thing to see is someone floating up with glide when restored through that bridge. But there it was. Sigma, you found glide. You don't need to take that damage boost. Oh no.
So Sigma could choose to it actually looks like he is going to be heading down to behind this 4 energy door. Of course, he doesn't have 4 energy, so he's going to be doing a save drop here to get through these lasers. This could be a little tricky with only glide. That looked like it was a successful attempt, though. We'll see how it is on reload.
Very nice. And finds nothing. Unfortunate.
He does find spear lead efficiency, which is, it's basically nothing. Ooh, and then takes a death. Looks like he's going to go back and grab that spear lead efficiency again, which kind of makes sense. It is a nice way to get some extra ability points.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't ever need, and it's not like great, but you'll keep it if you find it, like Sigma did. And of course, that could mean that he ends up getting up to. If we find dash, we get charge jump faster, or charge dash faster, excuse me, and ultra defense and the like, the more powerful abilities. Yeah, just like I said, he's gonna keep it, but it's not the most exciting thing in the world.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Muffin is heading back past the charge flame tree. He could head kind of one of 2 directions. He could head left into Valley Entry, or he could head right into the main spider sack area. Looks like he's going to head right. He can. Looks like he's also skipping this pickup that's on the tree just above the charge flame tree itself. He could get that if he was to lower this platform. He could use charge jump and glide to get over there.
A bunch of time investment though, so it makes sense that he's skipping it for now. Perhaps it's not too far away from like when you head left into Valley Entry. If you're still thinking about checking pickups, like it's not too far away from that. So you can come back to it later when you find something like wall interaction. Oh, he tried to do a level up in order to sequence break this door open, but unfortunately is just barely not quite the amount of XP he needs. There it is. Oh, the level up was too early. Unfortunate. You won't be able to check that right now.
Yeah, so bit of a time investment right there for Muffin. As Sigma's starting to catch up a little bit, he's finished left grotto and is now headed towards the double jump tree. We'll see where he chooses to go at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he follows Muffin into the spider sack area. This kind of seems like the right place to be without wall interaction with charge flame, charge jump.
Alright, Muffin save scummed this pickup down here because it's annoying to get back. We'll be heading right. This is access to a bunch of pickups and some teleporters, so it's pretty good to eventually get access to this area just like he is right now. Sigma's made it to the double jump tree, checked it, and is going to... Looks like he's going to try the same thing Muffin did with this charge jumping back out, which requires a lot of damage boost and isn't the most fun, but he had a mega health by the looks of it, so he made it out just fine.
And Muffin being very thorough in the Grove area, although he has skipped a couple of pickups earlier on in this section that I mentioned, but still checks this Horrorfield Stomp cell and is now heading back into this kind of center part of Grove where you can check all of these pickups. And he finds Bash from this plant. Boy. That is really nice to find. I don't know if that's Go mode, but that sure unlocks a lot of the map right now.
Yeah, it's one of those... We've been short on wall interaction so far, and Bash is one of those skills that you're like, all right, I might feel a little bit more comfortable with not having wall interaction yet. It's very powerful, especially in the later areas of the game, which were designed with having Bash in mind, of course. Yeah, so like that's a lot of comfort, a lot of progression, unlocks a bunch of pickups. Yeah, that's just a good spot for Muffin to be in right now. We're still looking for something like a wall interaction. Dash would be nice. Double jump would be nice, though not necessary. And of course, we haven't seen any keys yet.
Sigma went for a damage boost charge jump to get up from the bridge there, but only gave it a couple attempts before giving up. Looks like he's also heading towards the charge flame tree, so probably heading into the spider sack area, falling behind Muffin. Still now he's quite a bit behind, and we'll need to traverse this whole area in order to find that bash pickup. So a nice lead for Muffin that he's built up through a couple of very good routing decisions.
And a little bit of luck, as always.
There is a chance that Sigma chooses to go left here, but as I say that, he immediately heads right. Also skipping that pickup on top of the tree there. There's a chance that both runners might pick that up on their way back through that area. I wouldn't be surprised if Muffin heads into the valley entry area and all the way onto Feather fairly soon, probably after collecting the Stomp Tree.
Yeah, we're seeing him be pretty thorough, though, which makes a lot of sense. We're still... I mean, I wouldn't actually call us starved, but it's definitely not a comfy skill set, so you really want to find more... you want to find more things. You're still looking for the keys, of course, so we're going to see him be pretty thorough, by the looks of it, throughout most areas that he's going to come through. Sigma is trying to break open the nicknamed progression vault with an energy glitch. We saw Muffin try and unsuccessfully pull off a level up to open this door. Sigma has gotten his energy glitch, so he's going to be able to check what is behind that door, which Muffin skipped earlier. If it's important, this could be huge for Sigma.
Sigma's actually going to have quite a lot of trouble checking that. He just spent all of his energy, and there's only 2 energy from this crystal. So hopefully he hasn't destroyed this crystal down here to the left. We'll see if that's still there. It is, so he's fine. He'll be able to collect one of these, and that puts him at 3 energy to open that door. So he's fine as Muffin starts to make his way into the Stomp Tree. This is going to be a little bit tricky. He's fairly low on health, and needs to do this sequence without taking too much damage from the water here.
So we did see the progression vault check from Sigma. It was just some health regen. So another pickup that's nice to have, though not amazing. Oh, good.
Muffin has successfully gotten this fish out of the water. He'll be bashing it all the way up here, where he'll be able to check the couple of pickups around the Stomp Tree as well. He can't check this grenade pickup. Neither runners having found that yet, but he does find Warped Return, though, so the seed is now very warm, but not that much different than before.
I don't think we've mentioned yet, by the way, this is, of course, clues mode, so every 3 skill trees that the runners visit, they will get a clue as to the locations of the dungeon keys, and we have gotten our first clue, which is the Gumon Seal, so we probably don't care.
Yeah, very unlikely that we end up going to Forlorn at this point. And Sigma checking this XP, it turns out to just be a health cell, so while very nice, it isn't the most useful pickup. And he'll be heading back through this area, and eventually will make his way to the bash pickup. Looks like Muffin is choosing to head down into the lower BRB area, probably collecting the light grenade tree while he's here. There's also this pickup off to the right, that ability cell right there that he could check. And that is in logic, I believe, since it's only a small damage boost there. And it only turns out to be a keystone, so isn't anything useful, and he'll actually just die to get back to a save more easily.
See a zombie Ori trick out of him right now in order to get through this laser section with only spending 1 save. That was pretty nice from Muffin. Well done. Typically takes 2 saves for runners to get through there. Meanwhile, Sigma has found his bash, so he has that now, but has a lot of areas to comb through that we've already seen from Muffin.
Yeah, depending on how comfortable Sigma is with kind of go motoring, or at least trying to just head to trees as fast as possible, he might be able to save a couple of these checks.
Whoa.
Oh, he finds double jump. With a
Hello.
quick check of that, pick up the plant and the laser there. That is very nice. It's almost a form of wall interaction and might be sufficient for him to kind of climb up some walls that were otherwise not traversable.
Yeah, this combination of bash, glide, double jump is like pretty good horizontal movement speed as well. And so on top of being able to use it as a quasi wall interaction, just like you said, that is, yeah. And I would expect Sigma is skilled enough that he could just start moving. He could just start going. Go get those skill trees. See where the keys are. See if you can get them with this skill set. Is there anything in the way for Sigma right now? Is there anything he can't do in terms of dungeons or final escape?
I'm trying to think that through. The final escape is it's not impossible, but it's not the easiest. Especially since if he doesn't get ultra defense, he would need to do the. Actually, I'm trying to count his health. It looks like he's at
I see 9.
9, so he actually could probably do the final escape with a damage boost in the elemental room, which makes things a lot more reasonable. The elemental room is possible to do right now without taking damage, but if he was to fall down the wall, he would end up taking 1 damage boost through there. But I think he's in a pretty comfortable position for the final escape, so he's likely to just book it towards the trees.
That's sort of what we're seeing Muffin do as well. Muffin is already heading to the left side of the map right now. He's missing that double jump that Sigma has found, but he has a lot more tree progression and map progression sort of exploration than Sigma has seen. So it's I would say Muffin has a lead right now, but it's definitely possible for Sigma to do a lot of catching up with that double jump. And it looks like Sigma's also starting to skip pickups a little bit. He skipped a lot of pickups that were available to him in the swamp loop, that kind of thing. So we could see this lead start to close a little bit.
Yeah, and we got our second clue, which was the Sunstones in Sorrow, which is not too bad. They can clear out the majority of those pickups without any trouble now that they have Glide as well as Charge Jump. Trying to think what else potentially locks things in there. The only pickup that they can't access right now is the grenade locked pickup. So potentially worry, but it's a dense enough area you'll assume that until you've searched everything else, it's not the Sunstone there.
Yeah, you definitely want to try and know that you need grenade before you go searching for it. Because if you don't, it's a lot faster.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they continue to check a couple of pickups right along their path. If you do get lucky, find grenade, that both adds a little bit of extra movement, but would also be a huge relief in terms of these 2 keys that they still need to find. We of course don't even have a clue for the water vein, so that could be grenade locked as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Okay.
So the fact that it's Clue 9 water vein actually leads to some interesting routing decisions. Definitely means you want to save Misty for your final tree right now, so that you can get that clue while you're in Misty in case you have to continue on.
Final tree save bash, so you want to save the bash tree and the climb tree in Ginso and Misty respectively. Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah, so with that, Muffin is heading into Sorrow. Not very difficult right now.
Got Glide and Wind restored. The easiest Sorrow Bash ever in that you don't have to do Sorrow Bash.
Yeah, I often refer to it as Sorrow Bashless because it's so easy you could do it even without Bash.
It's the normal entry method. I don't need to name it as the trick. But yeah, we're seeing exactly what you mentioned, Muffin here, being a little bit more thorough than he might otherwise, still looking for some stuff, and maybe that grenade pickup that would help him out with potential key searching.
Well, I think he's also being thorough here because the Sunstone is one of these pickups, so
Yeah.
that does make the search a lot more palatable. Looks like he's actually going to do a full left Sorrow clear before even going to Charge Jump. This is an interesting decision. Oh, and he finds the Sunstone. That's very nice.
Yeah, there it is. We found it. Don't need grenade for it. So that's a little bit interesting. Typically, we see runners trying like head up for the trees that they need, head in the direction of the charge jump tree first before searching the rest of it. But Muffin deciding to head a little bit deeper into Left Sorrow first, and paid off because he found the Sunstone. So now he doesn't have to search a lot of these pickups. Like for example, the ones in the Spike Cave on the right, he can just skip those and just get the ones on the left that are in his way.
Yeah, Muffin also did a very impressive double bash trick with that sit shoot shark shot. Wasn't technically necessary, and finds the Sorrow teleporter at one of those XP pickups. But he could have done a Terra break to get up to this area of Sorrow, but I think since he was already down at the sit shoot shark, it was just kind of a more convenient method of getting into this upper part of Sorrow.
It also might have just been like one of those things where you sort of have a plan coming in and maybe don't remember that you can Terra break that one since it's so uncommon to have to. That can happen sometimes as well, but it didn't slow Muffin down at all. He got that trick first try. It was easy.
Yeah, and Sigma, I think, has caught up sometime. He's already gotten the glide tree, and I think is going to be checking these couple of pickups that are, they seem outside of Sorrow, but they are actually inside Sorrow as far as the game is concerned for item placement. So he'll check these, and then he'll also be heading into Sorrow. We'll see how he chooses to route this area, and if he makes a beeline straight for that Sunstone like Muffin did.
In the meantime, Muffin is now headed into Misty Woods and is going to be a little bit thorough on his way. This, of course, is because we don't know where the water vein is, and if you get to the climb tree and get a water vein Misty clue and haven't been checking everything, that is not a situation you want to be in. So Muffin's going to be thorough on his way in to prevent such a situation, and of course hope for maybe a skill or two to help him out.
So far, Sigma is taking a very similar route to Muffin through this area of Sorrow. We'll see if he also chooses to head towards Left Sorrow. It looks like he's going to just go straight up to the tree now. I would guess he's going to Terra Break, although actually he might go check this map and this map stone over here.
Oh, the rock.
Misses that rock. Is able to successfully use the bird, does not bother with the map, which kind of makes sense considering it can't be the Sunstone right now.
Oh boy, frog microledge.
Gives that one try, but then gives up. I very much approve of that decision. Giving it one try is possibly worth it, but after that, just go for the tried and true Terra Break. It's relatively easy to do. I think that also means he's now up to Quad Jump, which is very nice for this horizontal movement with Bash Gliding. So that will make Misty a little bit faster for him, but his route through Sorrow right now is costing him some time compared to what Muffin did in this area. So this is more time that Sigma's going to have to make up through his movement.
Yeah, this Sigma's doing exactly what I mentioned, where you sort of check the things that are closer to the tree than before heading to Left Sorrow. For Sigma's sake, don't hope he doesn't go to get the ability cell that's above the charge jump tree, because that would be incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah, to be clear, while it's unfortunate that he took this route compared to the one Muffin did, there's nothing inherently wrong with the route he's taking. There's
Whoa! Hello.
Wow. Muffin just found the water vein from the plant just before the climb tree. He is now definitely in go mode.
That is why you check all the pickups on the way into getting your Misty water vein clue.
Yeah, and it looks like Sigma is going to check this pickup. It's not too bad to get this with Quad Jump, making quick work of that wall. It's very hard to drop a double jump when you have so many of them, but ends up just finding a vanilla ability cell.
Where are you going?
Is he actually going to continue all the way on through here? I wonder if he's just grabbing the teleporter while he's here in case he has to come back for the Sunstone.
That's smart, but it's not going to pay off, unfortunately, because we know where everything he needs is. Oh, where? Is he just going to check the...
This is a very curious decision.
Oh, he already grabbed the Sorrow teleporter. You got it as a pickup.
Oh yeah, I forgot that that was just hanging out in
Oh.
that area. He is indeed heading up to the Sunstone, kind of betting on it being one of these 2 upper pickups. We of course know that it is not these 2 upper pickups. They could still be something useful like Dash, but I think even that wouldn't be enough to save him at this point.
Yeah, this is an interesting gamble on Sigma's part, but it is not going to pay off. We know where that Sunstone. Muffin is already in the Ginso tree now, progressing through it. He's going to be heading up towards the Bash tree. And while Muffin doesn't have double jump, which is helping Sigma out with things like the final escape, he still has a skill set with which the final escape is possible. And with Muffin's amount of practice, I would be surprised if he hasn't seen something similar to it before and has done it before. So Muffin might just be taking this as let's go finish this seed. We're all done.
Yeah, Glide makes the Lantern Room very doable, and then Charge Flame makes it, of course, possible to do the Elemental Room without taking any damage. He is only at 5 health, I believe, right now, so that makes the swim a little challenging. He will have to kind of do the slightly more challenging all-skill swim, where you manipulate the fish, but I think Muffin he'll remember his practice from all skills to be able to pull that off.
I wouldn't say that he's not going to have trouble with it, because he very well might. But I definitely think that he's not going to have so much trouble with it that he has to give up. I think he'll be able to do it. Because he is all done now. He's got all of the skill trees, which of course is the condition for heading to the final escape. Visit every skill tree. He's done that and has the Sunstone, so he can go head to the end of the game by way of the Swamp Teleporter. And we'll see how he does in the final escape. In the meantime, Sigma is now going into Misty, having found the Sunstone in Sorrow. And he'll be getting, hopefully, the Water Vein on the way. If not, at least the clue, and then check it, because it is right outside of the climb tree.
I actually hadn't really considered, but you can actually skip that plant on your way to the climb tree. And if you get the clue, then go back for it.
Yeah, that's the one pickup post climb tree that's the one pickup that exists both pre and post climb tree.
And oh, I didn't notice, but the Valley Teleporter and now the Forlorn Teleporter are both in Misty as well. So we have teleporters to go all the places that we don't really need to go this seed. Nope. We're all done with the Valley area. There's no desire to go to Forlorn.
This is interesting. Muffin is checking things in Horu Fields? Okay, maybe saying, these are fairly fast-ish to get on my way to... Oh, he's mousing over his health cells. He's looking for health cells right now. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think now that he's at 6 health, he's going to be much happier with this escape. It is a lot easier to do this swim with 6 health compared to 5.
Definitely.
So... it's a nice little time investment, and it's really great to see when a runner knows that they need to just quickly check, try to find that extra health cell. Knowing your limits is very important for these final escapes.
All right, Muffin is on to Door Warp.
And I think Sigma just skipped the water vein there. He, of course, gets this clue and will be getting it shortly. But did exactly what you predicted of skipping it on the way in.
It's technically the higher expected value play, because if you don't get that Misty clue, then you didn't waste the time to get it earlier. But there it is, he got it. So Sigma is now headed to the Ginsto tree, but meanwhile Muffin is already in the final escape. So it's Muffin needs to have an obnoxious, exceptionally large amount of trouble in this final escape for Sigma to have even the slightest.
Yeah, Ginso is a very long dungeon, and even though we're only going to the Bash tree, it's still a large time investment. So Muffin has plenty of time right now, and he'll be using Charge Flame to break a couple of these walls and floors. Very smart to wait on that laser cycle.
The spooky room. Let's see how he does. Okay, he caught a shot without taking a hit on the fire. That's very good.
Yeah, any damage before this swim will result in him being unable to complete this, and he'll have to restart. Goes into the water. Actually, it looks like he might have ultra defense, so he's very comfortable. Gets through that swim, only taking 3 damage.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Last stream's trivial with bash and charge jump, and there it is. No way to skip the final cutscene, so we're just gonna head right into it. But Muffin is now done. Just gonna hold right through the final cutscene, but he will take this first race and go up 1-0.
And coming in with a sub 40 time on a C that didn't have dash and ended up finding very few of the skills. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Man, you forget how good wall interaction is until you do a whole seed without it. And Sigma's at least in the position where he has double jump, which it's not truly wall interaction, but you can at least use it to kind of fake
Quad
your climb up. Yeah, quad jump's nearly wall interaction. And Muffin will be finishing up in just under a minute, I think. I actually don't know kind of all of the different like times from different parts of this escape. I just know it's like 1:40 from the initial cutscene.
I don't even know that.
Meanwhile, Sigma is making very quick work of that mini boss using Bash, Spirit Flame, and Charged Up to do a ton of damage in those first 2 cycles. And Muffin has finished with a 39:10 is his final time. And
we see the Sigma pause. We see him in race chat. Gonna do the forfeit, and we're gonna move on to race 2 soon enough here.
Yeah, it's not entirely surprising. This is kind of the way that Sigma typically races these best of style matches, where he doesn't want to spend any time playing out the seed after he's already lost. He just wants to kind of relax and move on to the next seed.
Makes a lot of sense. So yeah, just a recap, GG to Muffin. He's taken the first race here, but it's not over yet. This is, of course, a best of 3, but Muffin is now up 1-0. Sigma is going to have to try and win both of the next 2 races, which are coming up for you right now on stream. We're going to take a little bit of a break, about 8 minutes or so, and then we'll be coming back with who is commentating that match. That's going to be Cleanfell and Rory Rye, so stick around for that. For us, though, I've been Shed. I've been joined by Meldon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next race and hoping for a game 3. And thanks for joining me for this excellent first game.
As always, quick shout out to our truckers, the fellows Cleanfell and Kyrafell, and our restreamer Griffs. Griffs is doing a great job today. All of these third place in the finals match. So thank you. But that'll do it for us, and we'll see you very soon.
Hello and welcome back to the Orin Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018. This is the grand final match between Sigma and Muffin at Game 2. I am Mad Insane and I am joined on commentary by Cleanfell.
Yo, what's up, Matt? How you doing?
I am doing good. Looking forward to the second game of the series. The Muffin having taken the first game. It's now Sigma's turn to take it back so we can get a game 3, which I'm sure we all want to see.
Yeah, well, this does indeed have the potential. If Muffin takes another victory here, this will be the last. But no one wants that. I mean, why would anyone want that? So, Sigma has the pressure now to make it back to a 1-1. But we shall see how it's gonna go down, and we should be getting started pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll be getting underway in a couple of seconds. So, what sort of seed are you hoping to see from this seed? Are you hoping fast seed, slow seed, extremely painful seed?
I mean, these seeds have been really interesting. Even the ones in the third place match. This first one was really interesting because while they did have some really nice skills to maneuver around the map, no real wall interaction, which are kind of like essential. And you always think, oh, you always get wall interaction to seed, but apparently not. So we'll see. I'm hoping for a kind of seed where progression is in a nice steady pace where they both kind of get around the same time. So that leads to a pretty interesting race in the late game.
Yeah, definitely. So, strange start. Gumon Seal. Muffin's probably happy to see that one.
that's okay, cool. I guess.
Yeah, I guess it gets one of the keys out of the way. Unfortunately, it's the hopefully not needed key, and if you are needing to go to Forlorn, you're really hoping to have the teleporter and not to have to go and place the key in the door, so... Oh,
Yeah.
grenade.
Now,
That is
that is a skill. So, yeah, something interesting is that the seeds can sometimes actually force some really weird teleporters. And Forlorn in 2.6, Forlorn is one of those teleporters that if it forces you there really early, it has to give you all these skills like sea jump, glide, or some form of wall direction. So if the game is forcing us into stuff like Forlorn really early, it would have the chance to just load us up on skills and just become like a jet seed. But we'll see. Grenade is an interesting one, but we'll see what these other two pickups are before we actually have to figure out where the seed actually wants us to go.
Oh, just all skills at the moment. You're getting wall jump, grenade, and no keystones though. So
that's right.
Not heading through into glades or going straight down into BRB instead with that wall jump pickup. Muffin actually going for the flippers pickup, just getting more XP.
It's very convenient that these last pickups here were XP because it gives them a lot of ability cells to skip these next few BRB cutscenes. So that was very convenient. And yeah, they should have exactly enough to skip pretty much every cutscene here. So that's pretty useful.
Yeah, just a tiny difference between them because Muffin checked that extra pickup, but nothing worth noting yet. Sigma taking the ever so slight lead. But with the grenade and wall jump, it's not particularly a very wonderful skill set. There's not really that much that they can do with this. Well, there's a lot of areas they can get to, but they can't do any of it fast.
Yeah. So, okay. And the entire right side is open. Hello, Bash Grenade. How you doing today? But hey, it's okay because it's Bash Grenade with wall jump. So that makes it a little better, right? A little bit of wall interaction to help out. So it's not horrible, but yeah, it's still pretty bad.
We see Muffin, instead of going back up through BRB, goes and straight away goes to get the Frankie Walk XP, which is glide, so it pays off for him. But is certainly a slower route than what Sigma is doing to get all of these pickups. Though Sigma seems to be forgetting he has wall jump as he decided to slide down a wall instead of using any form of jump on it. But
Yeah.
now Sigma's going to be able to skip the entire slow
This is really
platform
nice,
section. Oh,
I love this.
The grenades. Gets it second try. That's going to save him a lot of time in this room. I'm sure Muffin is going to do the same.
I like the he threw a grenade to light the lantern, but then threw another one to get him right next to the door. That was kind of nice. That was kind of cool to see. Yeah, I kind of like this. Like, it's a bash grenade seed, but it's like with glide and wall jump, so it's a lot more. You can like maneuver around really nicely. Like, get some bash glides in there. So it's kind of like a fun little seed so far. Oh, I thought he was gonna get crushed by the crushers there, but he's fine. He gets a fair amount of XP, so dash could be somewhere buried. We never know. XP is only really accounted for as it goes up, like the maximum. And oh, there's the forlorn teleporter.
Well, that Gumon seal is now completely useless with the teleporter pickup as well, which I'm sure they're happy to see, as it means that they will not have to deal with it going to Forlorn in a slow way. Or at least have a quick way if they need to go there. But with Bash Grenade and clues, highly unlikely that will be the case unless we see one of the dungeon keys in Forlorn.
But now I'm wondering, I believe that actually does put Forlorn in logic. I don't know how much of it, but I mean, with Bash Grenade, Forlorn TP, and Gumon Seal, I mean, they could go there. You never know.
Yeah, I guess it's an option, but with the extremely low density of pickups there, I doubt either of them will choose to do so. And we see the Grotto teleporter from Sigma, which will help him out as it means that he doesn't have to do any sequence breaks to get into Grotto.
Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Just allows them to get right into like the core of the right side of the map. Grotto TP allows to go pretty much anywhere. So I would be surprised to see some pretty big splits coming from both Sigma and Muffin. Like, one goes down in the like actual Guma's hideout, and one goes up near Grove and Swamp Loop. It'll be really fun to see how these two guys route this.
Yeah, we haven't seen any keystones yet, as far as I can see. I don't think there's been a single keystone. So that's telling me that like everything, all of the keystones, it must just be saying you have to go to Grotto right now from the logic's point of view.
Yeah, this is always a really crazy seed that you don't actually go to the left, like actual left glades until like 20 minutes in. That could be one of those seeds where like we are like 25 minutes in, and then we realize, oh yeah, they've never actually like been to glades, because right now they don't have to. They can go pretty much everywhere else on the right side of the map, and it'll pretty much be the same amount of time to go through it. So they really don't need to go there right now.
And they don't have the option to either, unless they do some very awkward sequence breaks going all the way around over the top. Because there's no way to get through that keystone door without any keystones whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it'll be pretty likely to see both runners just get pretty heavily invested into this, like, grotto and swamp area. And then once they're done with pretty much the majority of, like, maybe tree collection around here, then they'll actually, like, remember and feel compelled to go back there. But for now, we're just going to be running through Moon Grotto and see what else we can find down here.
Yeah, we're seeing Sigma heading down a lot faster than Muffin is. Muffin's clearing out a lot more of the top and the middle area of Grotto, whereas Sigma's just going straight for this lower area. And I do think the lower area is a bit faster to clear and just has more pickups. Valley teleport from Sigma. That is huge. That's such a helpful pickup. It will save him so much time. It's not as if he didn't have access to Valley. Could do some sequence breaks to get there, but just going from the TP so much faster. And I don't doubt that Muffin get that as well. And there he is. That gets the Valley teleporter as well. So that's not going to be a differing factor between the two, but that's going to help out both of them a lot.
Oh my gosh, we finally have 2 keystones to go into glades. Yes, dude. At long last, it only took about 8 minutes in going through all this grotto stuff, and Sig was actually going to go ahead and check the mini boss. So that's gonna be an interesting check. See what pays off him. We do have grenade and stuff like and bash, so this does not take that long at all.
Yeah, you can even grenade redirect the projectile if you throw the grenade at him at the right time, and it'll just insta kill the mini boss if you time it right. But it's an incredibly precise timing. I don't expect anyone to do it intentionally.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
that
that's
is
stomp.
a significant pickup to get from behind the mini boss.
And I don't know
It's
if Muff.
fucking skipping.
Yeah, he got the map stone, but I think he went back up. I don't think Muffin is going to the mini boss, so that is going to be a miss out of Muffin. We don't. Who knows how useful Stomp will be, because we already have Valley TP, so we don't need to go with like Valley entry Stomp the peg. But I mean, again, that's just a thing that Muffin will just have to miss for now.
The thing is, with Bash Grenade, you can do everything in the game except for the final escape. And in order to do the final escape, you need either Stomp, Climb and Charge Jump, or Dash or Charge Flame. And Stomp is one of those. So that means that Sigma is now in Go mode, and a reasonably comfortable Go mode at that for Sigma, with Glide as well to help him out in Sorrow and Misty. So it is possible that Sigma might just go for it the moment he gets one more health cell.
That would be an insane play. But I mean, yeah, because he is down so he has to win this match to go to game 3. I mean, he could like maybe like at least one more skill or just a few more health cells. He could go for it. So right now, I think so after Guma's hideout, we'll see both players head to left glades, and actually we can see what's around here. We have 2 trees to collect this area, so that's good to get him out of the way.
Yeah, we'll have to see what. Pay close attention to what Sigma's doing. If he's seemingly like skipping all of the slow pickups, not being very thorough, and maybe just heading for trees and only getting the pickups on the way, and hoping for a health cell along the way, perhaps then I think that'll be a clue to tell us that he's going for Go mode. But Muffin does not have that option right now without having Stomp. He needs to find one of the skills that can break the final escape walls in order to be able to win.
That's right. We just got our clue from tree 3 is the water vein, so we have a nice early water vein clue. It's in Valley, which is kind of an interesting area because it extends like really high up, like pretty much all the way up to the Sorrow entry, but then it goes all the way down to the Forlorn entry. So it's a pretty big area. So it can be kind of anywhere. For now, we don't really need it, so just keep that in the back of our minds while we're going through the rest of this seed here and cleaning up some spirit caverns, and so far not much else.
The thing is that Valley is one of the very, very few locations that could be a pickup that they can't access with just Bash Grenade and in Sigma's case Stomp as well, because of that large amount of swimming in unclean water that they'd have to do. So that is potentially could be a disaster scenario if it is Valley long swim.
Valley long swim. All right, that I'd like that. I think that'd be pretty great.
I would love to see how the runners would deal with that situation of needing desperately to have a large amount of health or to find clean water.
Yeah, because both are in that situation where they could pretty much be anywhere, and you just have to be the constant, just endless looking around. We did find Climb in Spirit Caverns. Forgot to mention, but I mean that doesn't do anything because we already had Wall Jump. And oh, well look at that. Well now it's very useful. We have found Charge Jump right next to the Wall Jump tree. So, I mean, is that like, could that be a Go mode? I mean, that could.
That is huge for Muffin. That is going to mean that Muffin is now technically in Go mode. Muffin has grenade jumps. Sigma will, well, Muffin's about to have grenade jumps. Sigma is most likely about to have grenade jumps when he gets Climb as well. As Muffin's picked up Climb in Spirit Caverns, so I'm sure Sigma will probably head there next. as he's just, at this point, he just wants to search for dense pickups to get that extra health cell that he needs.
Look at those mouse movements from Muffin. He is happy. This is his seed, man. Forlorn, TP, Gumon Seal, grenade jumps. I mean, he might just go to Forlorn right now. I mean, why not? So he's happy about that. And now, yeah, so this looks to be just like, let's just get those trees and find those last dungeon cheese we need. And yeah, that's a pretty fast seed.
Yeah, this could be an insanely fast seed, provided the key locations aren't too horrible. And I say horrible, intentionally giving the pun there, as it could be Horu. And if it is a Horu pickup, then that could cause a large problem for Muffin, because it could be Stomp Block. But that's an extremely unlikely chance of happening. But if it does, then that's the one thing that could make a difference between the two of them, besides just their execution speed here and their routing speed.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's interesting. Sadly, we can't have the water vein there because we already know it's in Valley. But I mean,
yeah, of course.
There's still some pretty interesting places. I was thinking Fax as well. Fax is a pretty, like, actually doing the bash. I mean, Fax is free now because we have Climb Sea Jump, but that's another kind of infamous Valley placement. Ooh, Sibba takes a bit of a death there. He was pretty much right there, so it doesn't take him back too much time. But again, with a seed like this, you don't really want to take too many deaths because it's all just about getting that execution and getting to these trees. So you got to be quick. And so far, we're at 5 trees now. I wonder to see where Muffin goes next. Probably Blackroot, Grenade Tree. Oh no, looks like Valley.
I think Valley's a sensible play. You really just, since all they need now is a health cell in order to be able to finish, just going for like extremely dense areas like left side, Sorrow, or like something like Misty, where Misty is just so useful for this sort of seed because you have so many pickups that are just forced to get on the way. So you can hope to get keystones or health cells or just general resources from them if you want to go for Misty early. However, the risk of that is if the Sunstone clue tells you that Misty contains the Sunstone, then you might have to go and backtrack there if you don't know that.
That's right. Stomp, not having Stomp actually helped out Muffin a bit because the Kuro kill plane was not there. So you could just simply teleport to Valley and just get right to that feather tree. Sigma does have a kill plane. It is able to skip. So that just all depends on where he decides to go next. It looks like Sigma's going to do Blackroot now, so we get that grenade tree done.
Yeah, I think this will be the first we see of the grenade tree, so we'll have to see if anything useful is there. And that coveted health cell, wherever that could be. There's health cells and keystones for the name of the game right now, and I believe both run it. No, Sigma only has 1 energy cell, or maybe 2 energy cells. Either way, they're extremely low on energy.
Yeah, this is like a starved seed resource-wise. Like, we've only found 1 health cell, and we've only found 1 other energy cell. So far, it's a bit starved in that sense. So luckily we don't have dash. So like if we had dash, that would have been even worse because we wouldn't be able to do many charge dashes since we don't have dash. Energy isn't the biggest concern. It's just kind of, it'd be nice. That's definitely to say.
Yeah, I really like Muffin's route here, just going for areas like Sorrow and doing these grenade jumps off the wall, redirecting momentum.
Anytime possible. Hey, can I do a grenade jump here? Yeah, probably. So let's do it. Oh my gosh. And now we found the best pickup ever. That's some clean water right there. That's beautiful.
That's a nice pickup for them to get, as this means that they aren't going to be completely screwed by Valley Long Swim if it is there, because of course they don't know where the water vein is. Yeah, all they know is it's in Valley. So if it is in Valley, if it is in long swim, and Muffin is going to be able to cope with that now. And
Also,
not have to spam health.
Also helped for the final escape a bit. Oh my gosh, what was that?
How did he
on
manage
Muffin's
to
side?
Die? Okay, that's impressive. I've never seen that
He
before.
went. Apparently, there's a spike hitbox that goes through the roof. That's something I haven't seen before. That's kind of crazy. On the left, Sigma was able to skip that kill plane, so even though he had Stomp, he was able to get past that. So now he's gonna get this Feather Tree. And yeah, so Clean Water also did help out with the fact that the escape, we don't really actually need too much health now for the escape. So they pretty much don't need to check anything else. And look at that, the Sea Jump Tree gave another health cell just because it's nice.
And that's the health cell that they've been looking for. So now it is possible for them to finish. And I expect to see them both now going for those last few trees. I think Muffin might try and head down for the grenade tree now.
That's right. Well, it looks like
is what he's doing.
this looks like Sigma's going to look for that water vein. We need that water vein. It's around here somewhere. So gotta start looking. The way to route looking for it in Valley, it's kind of like you can do whatever. This is kind of a nice way because you get into Valley entry and check the easily accessible pickups there. All this depends on what you think's the best way to traverse. Yeah, Valley long swim is now pretty easy, so they can pretty much do anything in Valley. So it's just about finding that water vein.
Yeah, and with having climb and charge jump, they don't even have to do any fax variations as well. It's a pretty nice. Oh, there's the water vein, so that's a good location for the water vein. Pretty easily
Pretty easy,
accessible
yeah.
location.
Now I'm wondering where Sigma is going now. I'm wondering, is he going to go for the teleporter here? I'm not too sure. I guess just checking some more stuff.
I think he's still hoping for the health cell, as he still needs that.
Oh yeah,
to finish, so
he hasn't
needs
found clean water yet, so he doesn't know that the escape is pretty much free. But he'll pretty much absolutely find clean water when he goes for that charge jump tree. Now, we'll say, despite kind of the different kind of routing we have from both runners, they're still really even. Muffin is up one tree, but Sigma's got the water vein, so they both got advantages here. It's just about finishing who is getting that better routing to finish this game faster. And I mean, everyone's cheering for Sigma because we want that game 3, but right now it's pretty close.
Yeah, and when Sigma has a death and sorrow bash, that's not the sort of thing he needs to be making mistakes on right now, because Muffin is making good time with checking these pickups, but it looks like Muffin is going the opposite way through Valley, so is going to get to the water vein pickup a lot later than Sigma did.
There's a chance that Muffin may go for Valley Longsome right away. Oh, okay. Looks like he wasn't, but there was a possible chance that if he did, that would have been a large save. Like Sigma would have made up a lot of time in there. But won't be going for the dreaded long swim pick. Looks like he's just gonna go back to Valley and look around that area. Meanwhile, Sigma's gonna get clean water, get the sea jump tree, and then we got only climb and bash left for both runners.
Yeah, and with both the runners now able to finish the seed as well, it's now just a case of, in Muffin's case, how quickly will he get to the water vein? And in Sigma's case, and both of the runners, where is the sunstone? Because I don't think we have the sunstone clue yet.
Nope. We got one. We're gonna have to wait for our final, or one more tree to do that. Now, whether they decide to do Ginzo or Misty, it's kind of like they're both areas where it's very linearly, so all the pickups that you need to get are pretty much right around the way. So whichever one they decide to do doesn't really matter too much. And Sigma's doing something.
I think he's going for the teleporter. This is an interesting play, because if it is in Sorrow, if it turns out that Sunstone is in Sorrow, then this will save him a lot of time getting back to Sorrow instead of having to go through Valley. And this is probably what he's hoping for, is preparing for the worst here.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that'd be. Yeah, that's not a bad play, but I mean, again, just kind of wondering if it will indeed be worth it in the end, because now Muffin will get that water vein. We'll see where both runners decide to go. All right, so Sigma's gonna head back to Valley. So looks like a Misty play for him. Meanwhile, Muffin's pretty
Muffin's
much
gonna head
on
to Misty
edge.
as well.
Yeah, they're pretty much both tied here. They're both in Valley, and looks like they gotta get that climb tree out of the way. So I mean, it's pretty close. I think
the only difference is a couple of energy on Muffin's side and a stomp pickup on Sigma's side. And I don't see how those would make a significant difference right now. So, and it looks like both runners are deciding to go for the pickups in Misty on the way in as well, to make sure that they don't get screwed over by Misty if they need to backtrack through it.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll see some grenade jumps from Muffin here. Yeah, it looks like he's going for it. He manages to get it in time. That is a beautiful grenade jump. It's going to save him quite a bit of time over Sigma. It's about almost exactly even right now.
We're seeing two different Misty here. Like one, so someone's doing grenade jumps through Misty, but the other person's not. It's kind of like, what's faster?
It all depends on how quickly, I don't know, how many attempts each of these grenade jumps take for Muffin. On one of them he saves time, on the next one he loses time. It's a back and forth process, but I think we might see another one here. This one saves quite a bit of time if you get all the way. And he's almost even. They're in the same cutscene at the same, almost the same skill set, the same keys.
My gosh, dude. I don't know. It's like so close right now. I just have no, like, I don't know what to say. I mean, these guys have routed like so well that they've just happened to be here at the same time. Meanwhile, Sigma's gotta be a little careful, maneuvering through Misty with not too much health, but he's fine. All right, so where's that Sunstone? We need to know.
Is it gonna be a Black Root, maybe Lost Grove? Oh, it's in Sorrow. That is Sigma's choice to go for the teleporter. This is where it all comes into play here.
Gosh, the value. I've never, man. That's a play. It worked out. Now it depends on where. Sorrow is still a pretty big area, but still, man, that helped out a lot. I don't know. That's a play that I don't know if Sigma knew, like, coming into here that he was gonna make, but he made that play and it has paid off immensely. If it's like somewhere up here, like with the at Vanilla Sunstone, like, man, I don't even know what to say.
But the thing is, even getting the teleporter doesn't cost that much time, because you'd have to Alt R and then go to a different teleporter. So it's got to be only like a few extra seconds to less than a minute, definitely, to get the teleporter. So this is a sensible play. And Muffin, meanwhile, is going to Grove.
I think Ginzo probably.
Oh, perhaps, yeah.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. He's doing grenade jumps, of course.
Maybe deciding that since he just wants to see if he can get something else that'll speed him up a little bit for going back through Sorrow.
It looks like
Sigma heading up. Can we see a Vanilla Sunstone?
He did this last seed. He decided to go up because, I mean, you're right here, and it's gonna be a long time before you decide to come back in this like area, so he just decided, you know, why not? I'll head up here. This time it's pretty useful. I'm trying to see what he got. That looks like just a health cell from the plant. And I mean, is it vanilla sunstone? That is the question everyone needs to know.
I wonder what could it be. If not, then he can still get to every single pickup in Sorrow. There's nothing that's gonna lock him out of it. Muffin doing some
dude,
strange.
I think it's vanilla. It's vanilla. Oh my gosh, dude.
Amazing.
It's a vanilla sunstone. Oh my gosh, the Sorrow TP play led to the vanilla sunstone. I don't know what to say. That's incredible. Holy crap.
But now Muffin is halfway through Ginso already. So it's kind of hard to say whether or not that's given Sigma a lead. I would say maybe. It depends on how Muffin roots Sorrow. That's what it all comes down to here.
But I don't know, man. I mean, with your mindset, and you have so much of left Sorrow, not even checked. I mean, you gotta imagine that the value play is to just go there and just leave vanilla sunstone to last. I mean, that's what I would feel like would be the best. Hey, look at that, wind restored. Okay, well, that's there. But yeah. Oh, try for the Kuro cutscene skip. Again, sadly, yeah, that is a time loss that Sigma has, but Muffin does not need to worry about. He doesn't have Stomp.
Stomp is being a bit of the enemy here. We thought it was going to make a difference, but it's actually being more in Muffin's favor. With Sigma having it with all these extra skips.
Stomp's just Stomp's that one pickup where like it could be really useful if there's some stomp block stuff, but again, like with climb seed jump is a pretty much a free replacement for Stomp. So all right, so now Muffin's got to go back into Sorrow, and Sigma's got to do with a very linear Ginzo. So far Sigma's gonna do that, but I think you gotta keep your eyes on Muffin. For how he routes Sorrow will determine who is gonna get the Horu first.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether or not Muffin is going to have any trouble with Sorrow Bash either. He's going for these pickups that you might think they're in Valley, but they are indeed in Sorrow. So these are possibilities. Muffin already checked that one, but I guess he's forgotten.
Oh, V-Sync. Got to
having some menuing issues.
It's impossible. Trying to reload is impossible. It's fine. Yeah, Muffin already did a Sorrow Bash before to get in here the first time. He's just gonna do another one. Very nicely done. So yeah, Muffin's got a lot to cover, and he already checked some stuff here, and we'll see where he goes.
I can't see a situation in which Muffin would think that Vanilla Sunstone is the way to go. I feel like he's just gonna go for the normal route and gets double jump, but double jump isn't really gonna help them out much, if at all. He gets triple jump now as well, so I guess that's a slight advantage, but
that's just
not
more movement help. Yeah, but all right. So yeah, so far Muffin is just checking him a little more in Sorrow, but in the meantime, Sigma is right at the tree. He's got plenty of keystones to get to this door. So I gotta say that Sigma's gonna be the one to head to Horu first. And this is what the people wanted for the possible game 3 to happen. So this is
Muffin with some risky grenade jumps here, trying to grenade jump through all 3 lasers at the same time, and he gets it the second try. Oh, but it's not going to be enough. This route, although it gets you the highest density pickups first, it's the highest rate of pickups through Sorrow. It doesn't help in this one scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's how sometimes Randomizer goes. You saw in the first game, it's just how things work out. Again, yeah, people say that there is a lot of skill involved. There's also just a lot of luck, and you know, Sigma with that play to get the Sorrow TP, where it could have been Sunstone could have been pretty much anywhere else in the map. I mean, that's just a play that just worked out, and I gotta give him props for that. So there you go, Sigma heading onto Horu. So, and meanwhile, Muffin's still checking some Sorrow pickups. So yeah, this is pretty much the worst kind of scenario of like the way that Muffin could have routed Horu. He's pretty much the Vanilla Sunstone is pretty much gonna be the last thing on his list here.
Yeah, we're seeing Muffin going around Sorrow, clearing it reasonably fast, though he has had a few cases where he's forgotten which pickups that he's got and which he hasn't got. It's costing a little bit of time, but in the end, it's mainly about just Sigma going for that Sorrow TP, and that's what's made the big difference here.
Yeah. Now we got Door Warp, a fun trick that's totally free, except when it's not free. It fluctuates from being free and not free. See, now it's free. Oh, all right, we're fine. There we go. Sigma actually has 1 energy. We don't need it because we don't have dash, we don't have charge flame, we pretty much have no skills that use charge flame except for grenade, but in the randomizer, grenades are free. So I guess we don't really need it, but yeah, we do have a lot of health though.
Yeah, and oh, Muffin is going. He's so close to the Sunstone, but he's going back for the 1 pickup over here, over by above the charge jump tree. Oh, this is unfortunate for Muffin. It's not gonna be the difference maker, but it's rubbing salt in the wound. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a nice route, but again, it just did not work out in this seed. And meanwhile, so Sigma is already through. Again, we have pretty much all the maneuver skills we need, so this should not be a problem for Sigma in the slightest. We have clean water, so no damage needs taken. I don't even think he took a single hit, so it's perfect. We do have grenade jumps. At this point, Sigma does not need to take grenade jump, but he doesn't know that, so I would most definitely take that grenade jump to finish out the run here. Oh, Plez Rock.
Meanwhile, on Muffin's side, Toki rubbing salt in the wound, he doesn't have any ability cells to skip the Sunstone cutscene.
Well, he's gonna get it.
So since the Sunstone is here, he has to watch the cutscene.
And there you go, folks. Sigma takes the 2nd game. We're going to 3rd game. Let's
We
go,
are
folks.
going with a simultaneous cutscenes, though of a very different nature on either side.
I think Vanilla Sunstone is pretty much the one thing that everyone really wanted in this tournament, and pretty much now at the 2nd to last game of the whole tourney, we got it. Vanilla Sunstone. There you go, folks. Sigma's gonna finish out very nice time, 36:52 flat, and that was a very impressive run from both Sigma and Muffin. Muffin has some great running as well. Just again, the Sorrow placement just did not work out for him this time around, and it looks like Muffin will just he saw the SRL, he'll just forfeit, I believe, and take a short break to bring B back to the last game. My goodness.
Yeah, we'll be 8 minutes ish break, and we'll be back with you for game 3 between Sigma and Muffin.
That's
Thanks
right.
very much for watching, and stay tuned.
That's right. We also like to thank Kyra and Hal on the truck, Chris for restreaming as always, and Mad, thanks for commenting. This was a pretty fun one.
Yeah, and thank you very much to you as well, Clean. It's a pleasure as always.
Welcome back, Ori fans, for what is the final game of the final match of the 2018 Ori Randomizer tournament. It is, of course, still Sigma versus Muffin in Game 3. I'm Meldon, and with me for this final game is Vulcan. Welcome, Vulcan.
Thanks, Meldon. I am incredibly excited for this Game 3. We have seen some really good stuff from Sigma and Muffin so far. Just to bring you guys up to speed, if you did not catch Games 1 and 2, basically the action, Game 1, Sigma made some interesting plays, a little bit of risk-taking in that seed. He skipped taking the Blackroot Burrow's teleporter a couple times, and he made some gambles that seemed a little bit ill-advised, possibly. It's tough to get inside the runner's mind, but in that seed, they didn't pay off, and unfortunately, he took a loss. But Meldon, Game 2 is a different story.
Yeah, definitely. He made some gambles all the same, but boy, did they pay off. When he went to the charge jump tree, he chose to get the Sorrow teleporter, which is a very unusual play, and ended up returning there to find the Sunstone at its vanilla location much earlier than Covert Muffin was able to do. So that gave him a noticeable lead in the late game and ended up giving him the win. And our runners are off now in Game 3, and I'm so excited to see what this seed has to offer for us.
I'm sure it'll throw some interesting things our way. There's been no shortage of unusual stuff coming our way in these seeds today. We've gotten some jet seeds, Meldon. We've gotten some slow starts. Game 1 certainly a slow start here. This one, not as much. Double jump on the first pickup.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. I think I mentioned it in Game 1 that double jump is nearly wall interaction, and for runners of this caliber, they might just choose to use it as such. So that's an incredibly powerful skill.
Yeah, and hopefully they won't be forced to use it as that too much. Double jump wall interaction, not anyone's idea really of a great time. It requires turning away from a wall and then turning back towards it to refresh your jump and then jumping again. And it's just, oh God, I get hives thinking about it. Of course, it's not in the logic in the standard mode of the randomizer, Meldon, fortunately, although, in the next version of the randomizer, we might be bringing some double jump wall climbing to our fun-loving players.
Indeed. And the second pickup was a keystone, so we have 2 more remaining pickups. And since double jump doesn't actually give us access to BRB, we'll be expecting some form of progression from these 2 pickups. And we find a mapstone from the first keystone here, so still nothing. This next one is probably either a teleporter or a keystone, but it could be something like a wall jump or climb. And it is indeed a keystone.
And so we get the synced dives into the water as both players checking out the 524 experience points under the water. Doesn't bode very well for ever finding clean water here, but it does get both runners a number of level ups. However, Sigma opted to, in fact, disregard that pickup, so he is going to continue to the left while Muffin is heading straight into Blackroot Burrows with only double jump.
Yeah, this is a very interesting decision. It's a sequence break without wall jump, climb, or charge jump, but if he ends up finding one of those back in the left part of Glades, which it looks like it's on the mapstone, Sigma just found wall jump, then Muffin won't actually lose any time from the sequence break. He's just going to check things in a different order.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have any troubles navigating this area with double jump. Now, actually, the funny thing is the hardest part about doing double jump only Blackroot is getting in to Blackroot Burrows. And now that he's in, having double jump, he should be pretty good. Meanwhile, Sigma putting double jump to good use over here in the left Glades loop, and he is able to get up to this section with his wall jump and double jump, pick up another couple keystones. So keystones seeming like they're going to figure in pretty heavily here. I'm guessing that Spirit Caverns is pretty likely to have something. We'll find out in a little bit. A mega energy for Muffin, Meldon.
Yeah, and he immediately chooses to head over to this door into Death Gauntlet and opens that up. We won't be heading through it quite yet, which makes a lot of sense. Actually, climbing up the wall after the water damage boost with only double jump does not sound like a fun time.
No, not so much. He is heading into the left Glades area, so he had to open the door earlier, right before he took that 500 experience from the fake flippers pickup, and now he's just going to go through. So leaving Blackroot halfway completed, Meldon, but he'll be able to go back there in a little bit and wrap it up. It's not like his progress gets lost or anything.
Yeah, I like this decision. He's basically just using all of these alt-Rs to kind of switch between these different locations, rapidly hitting the quick pickups that are available to him. And Sigma is now heading into BRB, having cleared out the area around the wall jump tree. So he'll be getting that mega energy, and I would be very surprised if he doesn't also open up the door to the Ethicala with that.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward play to make, especially at this level. You just do not want to have to walk all the way around the top part of the map through the spider coves and all that stuff just to be able to get to the right side of the map. So both runners are definitely going to take advantage of that. And so we'll probably see them sync up in just a little bit. We noted that Muffin tried to jump up to the ability cell above the 4th health for just a little bit, and he only had double jump at the time, and that is possible, but it's not good. So he turned around and continued on his way, and then he did get wall jump from the mapstone, so now he has access to that pickup, and we'll see when he does or does not choose to get around to that. But lots of options available to him at the moment until he kind of wraps up his the stuff that's still outstanding for him.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sigma is indeed opening up that door to Death Golem, and he's going right through. He has plenty of health for this damage boost, is able to keep this Frankie alive as well, so he'll be able to check one additional pickup here. And we haven't seen any of this from Muffin since he chose not to go in here yet. I would expect Sigma will at least continue on to the Grotto Teleporter. We'll see if he chooses to go further at this point.
It's an interesting play. Definitely makes a lot more sense for Sigma having that wall interaction than it did for Muffin. He is down on 1 health here, so he's just gonna make sure to be a little bit careful and not accidentally clip one of these brambles, but he's being pretty safe. Muffin heading through Spirit Caverns, meanwhile, just finding some minor pickups, some XP, things like that. Nothing useful yet, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels like there should have been something here.
Muffin did find the Sorrow Teleporter, which isn't actually useful yet, but that could save a lot of time. We saw how useful it was in our last race, so definitely nothing to scoff at right now.
Nice, that was one that I missed, but yeah, I mean, it's not the immediate progression, and that's kind of the confusing part, but it'll certainly be handy in a little bit, as Sigma does opt to continue further down into Grotto, and Muffin's even coming back for this ability cell here, so neither runner really seems to be interested in finishing up BRB anytime soon.
I actually couldn't see what that pickup was.
I think
Muffin was planning on... Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Muffin is now up to 3 energy. Sigma's still sitting at 2, so it could definitely be an energy cell. Muffin's also going to check this long flippers pickup. Has just barely enough health to get there, and finds the Valley Teleporter. Wow, a lot of left side teleporters. Apparently doesn't even want the Valley Teleporter.
Save scumming the Valley Teleporter. It does make some sense. It's a very bold move, but it makes some sense since he has the Sorrow Teleporter already. It's kind of a more efficient overall route to start from Sorrow Teleporter, collect Charge Jump Tree, and then go down from there. It's easier. It doesn't require glide. It's just overall better. So basically, that's probably what he's thinking, but we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, Sigma coming down to Grotto, but not having plant breakage, and then that's one of those things that you hate this situation. You hate having to worry about, like, oh, am I skipping something here? I don't know.
Sigma also finds a 3rd energy for himself, a 4th energy now on the map that we know of. Looks like he's not going to head down to that energy door. There is a couple pickups he could get there if he chose to do a save drop to get past that, but instead is just heading towards right Grotto. I was thinking back to this Valley Teleporter that Muffin left behind. He can't actually use the Star Teleporter right now, so while it's a really nice pickup to have, it's totally inaccessible at the current stage of the seed.
Yeah, exactly. So Muffin, I think Muffin recognizes he just got his 4th energy, and you might think like, oh, okay, that puts into logic the Death Gauntlet play. But I think he's kind of feeling maybe I should get this Blackroot Burrows play out of the way first. I think it is in logic. I think all the cells that he has were in logic at this point. Whereas Sigma's 3rd energy currently is not in logic because he's not really gotten access to this side of the map. But I think for Sigma, he's just like, this just does not matter right now. I just need to finish this seed.
Yeah, there comes a point in the seed where you just kind of give up on the logic, or at least you're not worried about it if you're hitting up trees. And Sigma will be collecting his second tree from Double Jump, which is kind of surprising. It's normally not this early on in a seed, but we'll have to wait a little longer to get our first clue.
Okay, well, that technically vaguely counts as a clue. We found the water vein on the Double Jump tree, so we do have the clue space filled in for the water vein, and it's irrelevant now. We don't need that clue, as Muffin is going to get tree number 2 momentarily, and as mentioned, that will not tell him any information, but that water vein will not stay away from him for too long here.
Yeah, and that puts all of the, well, not all of the Ginso tree, but everything up to the Bash tree in logic, since they have access to the Death Gauntlet. They can use Double Jump to get all the way through up to the tree itself, and then at that point they have basically the vanilla skills for progressing through the Bash. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's progression at this point in the seed.
It's a good point. With the wall jump and double jump combo, you actually just have a ton of access to things, and so you know, can get around quite a lot, even though it's not the fastest set of skills to be able to have. It's not, you know, the most fun necessarily for everyone, but it is a set of skills that will get you to a lot of places. Ginso Tree is one of them. The you know, that entire first half, which consists of 6 pickups plus the Bash tree, plus there's an XP next to the Bash tree that you can possibly get if you get one more skill. You don't necessarily need Bash, but you might need something like triple jump, which I don't know. We'll see if they manage to find the extra double jump pickup somewhere.
Yeah, and they can't access that first plant in the Ginso tree, so that can sometimes make you want to delay going there a little bit. But Muffin has now found Charge Jump, which I think is out of sequence at the moment, since you would need Dash to get over here to pick that up. And he's able to get another map as well, but that Charge Jump pickup gives him a lot more mobility, and that would let him progress all the way through the Ginso tree up to the second Keystone door.
Yeah, that is a very nice pickup to find. It really almost doesn't even matter whether it's in logic or not. We're going to see whether Sigma is going to head down to the Rise Will Know area to get that. Sometimes he does not, but since that ability cell was nothing, he was basically set up to be able to go check it. And it definitely makes a lot of sense from his perspective as well, since he's pretty light on things in general. Muffin being able to check the health cell in the Death Gauntlet roof, but that is just a keystone. Will come in handy when he has to go into Ginso, but that's not going to be for a little bit because he doesn't have that water vein yet.
Yeah, so I think he's going to grab the Grotto Teleporter here and then head down towards the Double Jump area. He can clear, I think, basically the same area of left Grotto that Sigma has access to. Charge Jump doesn't actually help him out in that area. He is going to check a couple of pickups around the Grotto Teleporter first. Looks like he finds a health cell, which I'm not sure if Sigma got this at this point, but he might get it if he comes back to the Grotto Teleporter later.
Well, we're going to see if Sigma, as he does collect Charge Jump, we're going to see, oh my goodness. Is it happening again? Is he doing it again? He didn't go to the teleporter, Melvin. He's skipping it. He's skipping the teleporter. What is this?
Well, this is at least a better decision than when he did it in the first seed. He already has the Grotto TP, so he won't be coming here to access Grotto. He might have to come back once more without Dash, and that is slightly slower than going to the teleporter, but it's better than what happened in the first seed.
That's for sure. So Sigma, meanwhile, is coming back for the 500 XP. Manages to get a very well-timed level up there so that he doesn't die and is able to actually collect it. He's going to check a few more things on this side with Charge Jump. Just having that additional verticality is going to get some of these checks out of the way, but I believe most of them were not valuable. He is going to go into Spirit Caverns, though, and get that Sara TP, so that one is valuable. And takes away a potential avenue that he might have lost a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah, and with Charge Jump, that Sara TP is now very useful. They can, I guess they can access all of Valley using that, although it's a little difficult with their current skills to do some damage boosts to break the wall into this area. So probably won't be heading there anytime soon.
Yeah, you would want like one more skill. You'd probably want Air Dash or you'd want Glide at least. And that I think you would still put it off until after most of the other things. But in the meantime, sounds like we did get a clue. We have received the Sunstone clues is what I've heard. and I believe it is in Valley.
Very interesting. That I think is one of the worst locations in terms of how spread out it is. There's kind of all these disconnected areas in the Valley area. There's Lower Valley. You have the Fastompolis area, Valley Entry. So it can be very difficult to clear it efficiently.
Well, we just saw in a previous game in this match that Sigma with a Valley water vein just went down and checked the location that happened to have it, that 3 bird cell. Whereas Muffin decided to check the Fastompolis section, the Valley Entry, all that stuff before getting his water vein. It just cost him a whole bunch of time. So, one of those things that could potentially be a deciding factor here. We'll see. Sigma does collect his 4th tree. Muffin is soon to get his 3rd, and then 4 should be pretty close behind as he's got lots of options available to him at the moment.
Sigma altars out a Charge Flame, is not going to continue on through the Spider Sack area. I think the Ginso tree is starting to look like a very good decision right now. He can also use all of this energy he has to check a couple of pickups along the way, along with these charge up locations that he missed when he came through here the first time.
Dude, he finds extra air dash under the water, and he's going to drown and abandon it. So, unfortunate that his health just lined up, that he can't quite pick it up and keep it without alt-Ring, but he does think that it's not worth alt-Ring just to save that particular pickup. And I would not at all be surprised to see Sigma head directly to the Ginso tree here, but at the same time, it's a little bit risky, Meldon. You never know if a key could end up showing up in there, and I don't know. Do you think that it's enough to just have charge jump and double jump and wall jump and just end charge flame apparently, and just do the Ginso tree?
Yeah, I would totally do the Ginso tree. They already have the Sunstone Clue. They have the Water Vein. They're nearly in go mode already, and there's a pretty good chance that whatever that's last skill that they're going to find is going to be in the Ginso tree. So I would head right there right now.
At least Sigma is heading over directly into Grove, and definitely would not be surprised to see that path continue. He does collect Warmth Return. It's the wrong kind of red pickup, but we know that he's not going to find the red pickup he wants over here because the Sunstone is in Valley, as you mentioned. Muffin actually has chosen to go into the swamp area, so this might be his approach to get to the Ginso trees, that he might continue through Outer Swamp and go that way, while Sigma is going through Hollow Grove. So it'll be a little bit faster for Sigma to get there, but Muffin's got a few more pickups to check along the way here. Although Grove has a bunch too, I guess.
Yeah, the thing about this route that I like from Sigma is he also gets the Swamp Teleporter right along his path to the Ginso tree, whereas Muffin's going to have to kind of go past the Ginso tree to pick up that teleporter if he wants to come back to it at a later point. However, Muffin does find Glide hiding out over in this swamp loop, so that's a rather nice pickup to have. Although with the the Sorrow teleporter, it's not as important.
Yeah, that was exactly the words I was thinking of. It's not as big of a deal as it could be, but it definitely could make a difference potentially. I guess the fact that there's no Sorrow key does make a huge difference here, and say that Glide cannot be as effective as it might otherwise be. Sigma will not be, penalized that heftily for it, but you never know. You never know what might happen here, so we'll see. But for now, both runners are converging on the Ginso tree. No big surprise there. And as you did mention, Muffin will head to the left and go pick up that teleporter before he heads on in.
Yeah, and they will be able to clear out all of the pickups between here and the 4 Keystone door at the very top. They could actually go past that if they really wanted, but I don't think they would choose to do that. Bash can't be up there, and at this point, I think that's the only skill they really want. Dash would be, of course, a great time save, but Bash kind of trivializes a lot of the rest of the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Muffin might have an easier time if he wanted to continue up the tree than Sigma will, because Sigma has exactly 4 Keystones right now, and Muffin is sitting on 11. So it is a very good likelihood if Muffin wanted to continue past the the second door, he could do that. There's not as much of a likelihood that Sigma will be able to do that. He does have like 10 or 11 more pickups before he has to worry about it. But honestly, I feel like in a seed like this, I feel like in a seed like this, neither runner is really thinking too seriously about continuing all the way to the top of the Ginso tree.
Yeah, this is definitely the type of seed where I would check the 4 keystone room. Oh, and there is dash for Sigma. Of course, there's no chance that Muffin misses that, as it's right along the way, and he has nothing else right now. And oh, never mind. I was going to say we got another clue, but it's just the Gumon Cielis and Ginso, which we kind of already knew. Oh, and there's Stomp. Wow, the Ginso tree is
that-
loaded.
Good God, is that go mode? Are we done? I'm trying to think through the pickups in Valley. The only thing that's really missing that Valley could seriously troll us on is Grenade. There are 2 Grenade Lock pickups in Valley, and for it to be either one of those would be a really bad problem for both of our runners, especially for Sigma, because he does not have Glide, and one option for getting Grenade is the pickup at the end of the 4-line escape, but boy, you don't want to have to do that without Glide. We'll see, though. I think nearly everything else is available, Meldon, thanks to... there's actually a trick that Sigma himself found to be able to get the Facts cell without needing Climb.
Yeah, I was actually just going to mention that they have kind of an alternative method for getting that pickup. It'd be interesting to see if Muffin knows that micro ledge, which is much easier to find if you have air dash. And Sigma, interestingly, actually is not heading to the left side. I think he headed to the Grotto teleporter, so probably heading towards the Stomp Tree first, maybe looking for kind of one last find. Of course, with their current skill set... Oh, never mind. I was going to say that the Sorrow TB is actually in Logic, but they're still missing Climb if they actually want to use that with logical access.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sigma is basically thinking Bash probably is on the right side of the map, so there's a good chance of getting it if I just go to Swamp. It does end up out here a pretty high percentage of the time. Muffin having completed basically the exact same set of plays in Ginso, so he has Alt Art out. Now, Muffin does still have a tree disadvantage compared to Sigma, as he's not yet collected the Charge Flame tree. It's not a big disadvantage. He can go get it almost any time, but it is, you know, some time investment, and he's also behind on moving on to the next tree here. So, you know, just a little bit of an advantage for Sigma, but, you know, with Glide being in play for Muffin, Sigma definitely could need that extra time. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and especially in an area like Misty, we could see Sigma having a little bit of trouble without Glide. Double Jump is a fairly good substitute, but he has not very much health. Looks like he's up to 7 now, so he can only afford a couple of damage boosts through the Misty area.
Yeah, I'm looking at his ability count a little bit, and I believe the number there is 3. That's not a great number. Oh, well, there's Climb, and I think Sigma's going to get that soon, because I think Grenade is the next tree for him. So that is going to take care of really any concerns that he might have had about whether he was going to go to Sorrow or whatever next. He'll be able to access the Charge Jump tree by going to the left towards it, and then he'll be able to also get down into Valley. I think actually Muffin will be able to, if he uses Climb Charge Jump, he'll be able to take a better route to the right, thanks to Glide through Spike Cave.
Yeah, he could. He'll end up spending 4 more keystones, but sitting at 11 right now, that's not really a big deal. However, he immediately heads left. We'll be checking this one pickup here, and then continuing on to the Charge Jump tree this way. Actually, he may have changed his mind.
His health is not very good for that, so he actually he's Alt-Ring. It's not a huge time loss, but that is a significant amount of time investment that unfortunately is just wasted because of the lack of health.
Yeah, and he really can't afford that, where he is slightly behind at this point. Actually, maybe more than slightly. Sigma's now caught up that Grenade tree and has the full Stomp tree on Muffin, so this lead is growing for Sigma right now as Muffin makes a couple of minor mistakes.
All right, so Sigma heading up to Sara Pass the expected ways. Muffin is going to take advantage of having Glide. He is going to go through Spike Cave, check a couple pickups along the way, finds Clean Water in the same pickup it was in a previous seed. That's always a funny coincidence, and he's going to go ahead and Ghost Door and head on into the Charge Jump tree. So that's going to at least assuage any fears he might have had about the final escape. That's not going to be a big problem because he's got... he has what he needs. He can take damage on the fire, right? And then
yeah, he has 5 health, so he could afford 1 damage boost on the fire. Can't take a damage boost on these spikes. They do 5 damage. which is kind of odd. The rest of the spikes in that immediate area do 4. But he can do the final escape with a single damage boost right now. Oh, that's
okay.
not as bad of a death as I thought it was for Sigma, but
Yeah,
a little bit of an
so much
embarrassing one.
worse. Oh boy. All right, Muffin also skipping that pickup there and the save, but he is fine. He just uses very nice stomp cancels directly onto the rocks. So both runners picking up the same tree, quote unquote, feather at the same time, but this advantage for Sigma just it keeps growing bit by bit. It's really, I think this Valley pickup of the Sunstone is really going to make a big difference here, Melvin, potentially.
Yeah, and the fact it could still be grenade locked is very interesting. Of course, there is also a pickup that's kind of grenade locked and clean water locked, but I think if it gets to that point in the seed, Sigma will have found a couple more health cells or have been able to get up to ultra defense. So the clean water pickup it doesn't feel like it's likely to matter for Valley Long Swim.
Also worth mentioning that Sigma did skip the charge jump tree on his way down here, so he's going to get that in a little bit. Might have basically just been saying, I just want to get these other bits of completion, and particularly the Sunstone, out of the way first. Probably find out if it's grenade locked too, which, I mean, he'll have to check every pickup in Valley to do that, but it shouldn't be that crazy to do. And I don't know, which never mind. All right, there's the Sunstone.
I have a feeling you were about to ask which pickup is it going to be, and I can definitively answer it's going to be that plant right there.
I had a couple of different questions on my mind, and one of them was going to be like, which would you rather have? Would you rather that it were grenade locked or not grenade locked? But it was too late. It's not grenade locked. That's a big help for both runners, but particularly Sigma. There was definitely a lot of possibility for that to just be his absolute end. But now he's kind of uncorked. All he needs to do is finish up Climb Tree and Charge Jump Tree, and those are going to be reasonably quick for him. Muffin, for his part, Charge Flame, Stomp, and Climb. All 3 remaining.
And interestingly, those first 2 pickups in Misty are actually really good to check right now. They could be Bash, where we have access to this ROTP, so I think that's a good decision. I would be surprised if Sigma continues checking things after that.
Yeah, there's really not much for him to get. He's got 7 health, and I believe those are all real, Meldon. He also has 10 real energy. What on earth is that? He's still checking.
Yeah, a little curious. He might want Ultra Defense, where he only has, where he doesn't have Bash. The Final Escape is a little tricky without a damage boost. Although he does have access to Climb, Charge Jump, and Triple Jump at this point, so he could kind of navigate his way around the Elemental Room without taking any damage.
This is interesting. He's definitely having a little bit of a problem with Misty, and that makes sense, because Misty without Glide is pretty challenging. Muffin's having some problems here too, though, and Muffin has Glide. All he has to do is press the... Well, I was about to say right trigger, but not that. I don't know, maybe you can bust out a controller and press the right trigger. Yeah, whatever his
mind is it bound to.
Just press that, right? Right? It's that easy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he is choosing to use Glide now and does take a lead on Sigma in Misty. I think overall Sigma's still in a good spot where he has the Stomp Tree compared to the Charge Jump Tree, so he'll be able to get that more quickly than Muffin. But Muffin's catching up time, and this is going to end up mattering because this Final Escape is not easy, and it's definitely a possibility either one of our runners makes a mistake.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about Sigma. For his perspective, lacking Glide, I would certainly be thinking, boy, I really just want Bash if that could just show up. And he knows that it can't be in Misty, not this deep at least. So he's clearly not looking for Bash, but the question is, what is he looking for? And it's really hard to get inside the mind of a runner and anticipate that. What I can say is he's got 3 ability points now, so he does have the ability to learn Ultra Defense. And that at least will make him feel a little more confident in the Final Escape, even if it's not the specific thing that he's looking for.
Yeah, and that lead that Muffin took in Misty is starting to look like it's nearly tied up. Muffin is now putting the keys into this door here, while Sigma has just stomped this floor. With this rocket jump, Muffin gets up to this tree really quickly, so I actually think he's going to collect his Oh, this is his 9th tree. He still has to go charge for it.
Yeah, he sure does. I was just gonna mention that. It's like, but I mean, it's a very fast tree, but it's more than 0 time. And meanwhile, Sigma has collected the charge jump tree. So both runners on nearly identical skill sets. Glide is not going to make a huge difference in the final escape, but it could make a difference because it is not easy to complete the final escape without Bash, and Glide just makes it slightly less scary. But Sigma does have that bit of time advantage heading into the final escape, and he has also managed to pick up almost 20 more pickups than Muffin over the course of his seed, while getting to the final escape faster. So this is a very, very impressive performance by Sigma in this seed so far.
Yeah, definitely. And places down a nice save there. It's normally not very easy to die in this area, but without Bash, it's much easier to accidentally run into an enemy, dash canceled, to lose your iframes, and just take a whole bunch of damage rather quickly. So I like the decision to place down a couple saves.
Well, this is what it's going to come down to, Meldon, in the final game of the final match of the randomizer tournament is going to come down to this final escape execution between two runners lacking a critical skill in Bash, lacking grenade as well for, you know, just being able to do Bash grenade verticality, but of course they don't have Bash anyway, and one of them lacking glide. And so here it is Sigma going to be able to close this out with his confidence on these low skill escapes. First try door warp for him. That is a great start.
Yeah, immediately has a little bit of trouble actually getting to the door to the final escape, but he's able to recover, and he has started the warmth cutscene. And I couldn't hope for anything more than seeing a bashless final escape in this final game of the randomizer tournament.
Meanwhile, Muffin getting through his door warp, that was a third try, not what he needs right now, but Sigma does still have this scary escape ahead of him, so anything could happen. 72 XP coming from Kuro. That does not matter at all at this point. Both runners just need to... Sigma? Okay, I see. He's just waiting for the setup here. Oh, he needs another charge jump. Very nicely done by Sigma to get through that pillar room. I didn't even realize that was going to be as hard as it was.
And he is through the elemental room as well. The swim is not especially challenging because he has Alter Defense. He should be able to do this in around 3 health. He's able to kill the first fish nicely with Charge Flame, gets the other fish out of the way, and comes out with 1 health. Muffin takes a death there, and Sigma is through nearly to the very last part of this escape. He's going to use a climb charge jump to get up here, and should be able to dash into the final cutscene, which he does.
That is it. Sigma is the champion of the Ori Randomizer Tournament Singles Division 2018. Very nicely.
Oh, and it looks like Muffin's having difficulty with this because he's only at 5 health, so he has to do... Actually, no, he has clean water, so he can afford a damage boost. Never mind. I had almost forgotten already that he'd gotten that pickup.
Yeah, he's just having trouble getting through this room, which is not an easy room to get through. You can just damage boost, but you know, in like the heat of the literal heat of the moment here, it can be very easy to mess up that timing. Now he's through, so the one thing for him is, since Sigma had a very clean first try here, it's not like Muffin lost due to the mistakes in the final escape. Sigma was able to get enough of a lead that he didn't really have he didn't really leave much room for Muffin to get back into it, basically.
Yeah, I actually don't even know exactly what point in the seed did lose Muffin this race. He routed fairly similarly, and they both had similar execution on most of the tricks. It just, Sigma was a little bit faster at kind of a couple of things, I guess, and was able to come out ahead. Sigma now finishes with a 33:01. Wow, what an impressive time for a seed with a relatively late dash pickup.
And a bashless seed finishing in 33 minutes. Incredible. Sigma showing us exactly why he is able to be the champion here. But Muffin, for his part, barely finishing behind by a minute and change potentially. Very impressive performances by him as well. Great job by both of these guys. Meldon, if I had to pick one thing, and God, it's very difficult, but if I had to pick one thing, I think the only thing I can point at in this race that might have tipped it for Sigma was when they both went up to go to the Ginso tree, and Sigma went left and Muffin went right. Because they already had that Sorrow TP, the glide pickup was just not as valuable for Muffin as Sigma just being able to get to the Ginso tree quicker with that Swamp TP. And as a result, Sigma just got, a leg up on the rest of the game faster. All the skills were in Ginso, and I think that really was probably the only thing you can point at and say this was it.
Yeah, that definitely ended up making a difference. That extra time investment to come back for the Swamp TP makes that route noticeably slower compared to going through Grove proper.
Wow, what a match. What a day of Randomizer. Just absolutely I'm speechless, man.
Yeah, what a fantastic tournament overall, and this is definitely a good finish for it. We had a lot of incredible matches, but I think this one and the one we had earlier today, the third place match, those were definitely the best two of the whole thing.
Certainly not letting us down did Grim or Raziel or Sigma or Muffin, all four of them putting on absolutely fantastic performances tonight, and we will now get to be joined by our two finalists, Sigma and Muffin, and we'll start us off by just saying GG to Sigma. Congratulations, dude, on the championship here, and just tell us a little bit about what the heck were you looking for in Misty, dude?
I needed Ultra Defense, man. I needed ability points desperately, because I did not think that Final Escape was going to fly without it.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to know.
I can respect that. That's a good decision, and if you needed an ability point, you got to look for an ability point. So, congrats on that finish.
Yeah, like I was thinking about where I would go next if I didn't get anything in there, because I did not think the Final Escape was going to be a good idea without it. Like, I would have had to dodge that damage in the Elemental Room and then do a dashless swim with 7 health. Good God.
Well, Muffin, GG to you as well. Just an incredible tournament performance, and 3 incredible games here, even if you were not able to take the win. But just tell us a little bit about your routing in this seed, and particularly when you went up from the Grotto teleporter to head towards Ginso. There's kind of an option. You could go left or you could go right. You went through Outer Swamp. Tell us about your decision making there.
So the quickest way to get to Stomp Tree and then go to Ginso is if you can do it in one circuit. And so I knew Dash was on the map because I found Charge Jump really early. So if I had found Stomp or something like that, that's that would have been a nice signifier that Dash could be somewhere kind. But I knew Charge Jump was Dash gated, so if Dash was in the early game, Upper Swamp Loop or something like that, then I could take that into Ginso and then just transition to cleanup mode. But it didn't work out that way, but I still found Dash in Ginso. Yeah, so that's all that was at play there. It's just the quickest thing to do.
Well, I want to bring us back to game 2. I think it might be the play of the tournament, in fact. Sigma, why did you choose to go grab the Sorrow teleporter?
Well, okay, I died, but I actually timed that out, and it's only 8 seconds slower to grab that teleporter than to altar and teleport. Plus, you get a pickup along the way, so I was like, oh, let's do this cool strat, and then I died, and I was like, okay, whatever, let's do the cool strat anyways.
And then, on top of that, so you've grabbed this teleport and you come to start clearing here, you clear out the right part of the spike cave. You don't go down to the high density pickups below there. What made you choose to go up instead of down at that point?
I'm kind of 50-50 on that, although I was feeling the Sunstone today, and it's because if you do all of Sorrow, it takes a long time, and then you have to teleport back up there, but it feels better to me sometimes to just clear it all in one swoop. And I honestly was feeling behind, like, in every game since the start of game 1, so I was like, oh man, let's hope it's the Sunstone and he does that last, so I can get back in the race.
Well, let's talk about game 1 real quick, because that was a really interesting sequence of events that happened, and I gotta ask, like, what was your approach as you went into that game that caused you to make plays such as getting Charge Flame and just immediately double back to that wall to blow it up and get that XP, or skipping the Black Root teleporter twice going through there? Like, what were you thinking as you were, starting that seed out?
All right, so I haven't run the numbers on the like double back with the Charge Flame thing, but the reasoning behind that is if that is wall jump when it's like a 1 out of 3 that it is, then you can do the entire wall jump loop in one go, and it's like awesome. And if that's wall jump and you skip it, then you have to altar, get that, and then go back to the wall jump loop to go run through the same screens you just did. So I don't know like what is statistically, but that was the reason I did that. And as for skipping the Black Root teleporter, it's like 5 seconds faster or whatever to not deal with it if you have to watch the cutscene. Assuming you only use it once. But obviously it would have been pretty smart to get it in that seat, because I think I walked in there like 4 times, and that felt pretty bad.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the most optimal route in the end, knowing what happened. All right, going back to game 3, Muffin, I had a question for you. So I think it was with a Mega Health you sequence broke down to the Long Flippers pickup, and you found the Valley teleporter, and then just immediately decided to die and not take that. I was curious why you chose to do that, where you didn't actually have access to the left side of the map through a teleporter at that moment.
The biggest reason was because I had Sorrow TP, and having Stomp be an access into Sorrow, it is extremely unlikely that Stomp is not going to be on the right side of the map. And then after I found Charge Jump, I felt even more verified in that. It was like, okay, well, Dash is on the right side of the map, and if Charge Jump is dash gated, then it's extremely likely that I'm just going to find Stomp as a pickup along my way in the right side of the map. And so, like, in that moment, I took like a few seconds to be like, this could be good, this could be bad. I'm just not going to keep it and use the save scum instead of having to altar and then walk all the way back to wall jump tree. Like that would have been awful to me, especially because I didn't know Dash was going to be on the right side of the map at that point. So like with that, it was just I might just get 7 health and be able to get back here later on anyway, like just in case I actually really, really need it. So in the 2 cases, either A, I get Stomp, which is extremely likely, or B, it's an extremely starved seed that gives us lots of resources like health or ability cells for ultra defense. In either of those 2 cases, I would have been able to backtrack for it. Yeah.
Let me actually follow up on that with a little more general question. I'll ask both of you. We'll start with Muffin. We've been talking a lot about the progression of the seed. You knew that certain things had to be in certain orders or in certain places, and of course that was coming up in the commentary as well. And I guess I'm curious as to your overall thinking on at what point in the seed are you just kind of like, if any time, do you just kind of say, you know what, I'm now taking the logic and I'm kind of pouring it, wrapping it up into a ball, and I'm throwing it in the garbage, and I'm just gonna go do whatever and finish the seed as quickly as possible without even thinking about the logic anymore? Or is there even a point like that for you?
Oof. Sure. I think there's like lots of points in the seed where I could do that. There's always kind of like a hesitation meter. I think Sigma was kind of alluding to this like earlier on of like, like the hesitation of like which do I do upper sorrow or lower sorrow, right? It goes the same with like following the logic. The logic is mostly a tool to sort of like guesstimate where certain pickups could potentially be, and then from that just kind of like routing out which trees you kind of like push for, and then which dense areas do you go for with the skill set you have. But at every single point, there is a magical combination of resources and skills that you can kind of get which makes like the Ori randomizer a really beautiful thing. That allows you to say, I could finish the seed with this, but you know what? I might just want to check a few extra things where I think there's a really good probability of wall interaction, right? In first seed, wall interaction would have made the final escape like insanely easier. Or like dash in the second seed or something. Like we had no idea where dash was going to turn up, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of hard to give a direct answer, but it really depends on the seed and like where you've been in the seed so far.
That makes a lot of sense. And Sigma, what are your thoughts on the overall topic?
Well, I think it's important to keep the logic in mind as you're playing through. I would only really completely kind of forget about it and just focus on other things when I'm actually in go. But up until then, there's like some value out of playing the logic, and I think it's most pronounced when you're starting to go from, you know, glades into grotto kind of thing. If you're sequence breaking in, it's like, you know, there's a couple pickups, like maybe the charge flame tree, for example, is a big one that always comes up. Like, you know, there's something there, and based on what you have, you can try to figure out, like, maybe it's just an energy cell, like maybe it might be a teleporter, maybe it might be a skill, stuff like that. So, like, that can play in big when you decide where to go in the early game, because is it really worth it to go to charge flame tree to get like an energy cell just to open the death gauntlet, which you already opened with a big energy? Or, you know, do you want to go there and maybe get charge flame and go through the death gauntlet then? Something like that. I don't know. It's good because you can get these kind of slower pickups that have higher value early in the seed, but then, you know, later it starts to matter less. Like in that last seed, I don't know exactly what skill it was that I got. I think maybe Stomp. I decided like that was good enough. Or no, Sortie. I don't know. But I was not paying attention to the logic for like the last half of it.
Makes a lot of sense.
You have me thinking back through now. I'm like, what was in Ginso? I think it was Dash was the last thing you picked up in there, and then there was a bunch of crap, and then you just went.
Yeah,
Dash was in Ginso, and then I did like the top half. I think Stomp was up there. I don't remember if Stomp
was next to the
factored
tree
into my calculation at all, or if I just did that because I like wanted Dash, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I think we're, you know, running dry on ringing the 3 seeds for any more value than they've already gotten. So we'll, you know, do the typical closing thing. We'll start with Muffin. You know, obviously the tournament comes to an end for everyone today, but of course you also, you know, did come in second and put on an incredibly impressive tournament performance, both in this division and the doubles division. And I just want to know if you have any last thoughts about like your experiences in the tournament, what you're going to do going forward with Ori and the Blind Forest.
Thank you so much. I really put a lot of bank into putting a lot of like time and effort and preparation. So like these last 4 months have been really awesome to working towards this thing. So I definitely want to give a huge thanks to Sigma, because the thing about Ori is that like in all the speedrun categories, the first like X minutes of the run, like 8 or 9 minutes of all skills, is just like not that interesting to me. But the randomizer adding this like sort of puzzle aspect has just been an amazing aspiration for me to burn like hundreds, if not actually like thousands of hours into just like imagining all of these different things I can do with it. So like this really has been amazing for me. So thank you, Sigma. I'm sorry, I am like feeling such a cocktail of emotions here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to also give a huge thanks to Richard. If you didn't know, in the first couple weeks of the rando tourney, my graphics card was like dying, and so I was like having these random PC crashes where I would lose like 1 to 2 minutes in a race. And so he just sent me a message. He's like, "What's your address? Is this graphics card compatible with your computer?" And I gave it to him, and no questions asked. He just bought me a new graphics card. And so if it wasn't for him, I probably would not have been able to get to the stage in the tournament. So like, thank you so much, Richard. And then also just like huge thanks to the Ori crew. The production for this tournament is easily probably the best, if not one of the best on the entire like internet in terms of like speedrun tournaments, and it really showed through. So major shout outs to all the people who worked behind the scenes for that. And the Ori community in general. Like everything, every little aspect was hundreds of hours of just culmination of work and effort from everybody. So me and Sigma were the story today with the finals, as well as Grim and Raz for the third place match. But it's really undervalued just how insanely amazing it can be when a congregation of really talented people come together to put on an event like this. So thank you guys so much. But besides that, I got so fucking burnt out on the randomizer, man. Like a few weeks ago, it's like,
Muffin.
I can't play any more seeds, man. And so I'm so excited to pick up new projects and push for GDQ because I have a run in that. And then once I have a bit of a rest, I'm just gonna tear into the new logic that you, Vula, and Sigma, and so many other people have been working so hard on behind the scenes. I'm really excited for that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for participating in the tournament, and best of luck with all of your future endeavors. I look forward to all of those and having you come back to more Ori in the future.
Thank you so much.
Same, dude. I'm looking forward to some hugs at AGD.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be the best.
All right, Sigma. Well, Muffin already helped transition into this, but what are your future plans for the randomizer in the next coming months?
Well, it is hard to follow and act like that.
I'm so sorry.
Oh man. Like over the last few months, thanks to a lot more interest in the rando with the tournament, and Vula and Aiko stepping up to help out a lot with rando development, we've done a whole bunch of work and developed version 3.0 to the rando, which has, I think, probably more work done on it between the tournament version and 3.0 than like the rando's beginning to now kind of thing. So there is a lot of new fun stuff in there, new ways to play the rando, a bunch of changes to the game world and stuff that we thought we couldn't even do before. So weeklies from now on are going to be on 3.0, and going to be playing those, going to be working on the rando still with everybody, and hopefully, if you haven't played the rando, or if you have played the rando and just want some new way to experience, you can take 3.0 for a spin and see what that's all about, because I think it's coming together really well, and hopefully we'll be able to release it officially pretty soon. But you can already just go to orirando.com and grab the beta DLL and have at it.
Do you mind if I cut in just really quickly?
Yeah, dude, go.
Okay, all right. We have so many different forms of logic. So even if you have no speedrunning experience whatsoever, we definitely value also making the randomizer like a casual experience. But also, if you just go to speedrun.com/ori_de, in the resources section, there's a really amazing all skills, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere beginner's tutorial by Sigmasin, and that just gives you all of the information. And it's just a really nice and fun watch. So if you just feel like learning something about the game that maybe you saw us doing all these amazing things that didn't make sense, well, it'll all make sense after you watch that, and then you can go ahead and pick up the randomizer and do standard or other more advanced forms of logic. Yeah.
Not only that, but if you go to orirando.com/discord, thanks to Aiko and the magic of web redirects, you will get the invite to the Ori and the Blind Forest Discord, and it will even point you at the randomizer channel, where you can come and discuss the randomizer and learn about all the awful things that we have put in 3.0, like Stump being on the Kuro Perch Rocks sometimes in Standard. That's a personal favorite.
That was such an experience the first time it happened.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. Well,
yeah, the 3.0 logic is something. That's all I have to say.
Definitely come join our community, give it a test drive. It is good times. For now, that's gonna do it for me. That's gonna do it for Sigma and Muffin. You guys put on a great show today, and GG again. And Melvin, it's your tournament, man. Why don't you take us home?
So I'd like to start by thanking everyone who helped out today. It was incredibly a lot of work to put together a 6-hour stream to do the third place and finals together. And for this last match, Cleanfell and Jay Halcyon for tracking, Griffs for doing the restream for all of the matches, and thank you, Vula, for commentating with me. And then for the entire tournament, I'd like to thank Sigma and Ico for all the work they did for the randomizer development. The randomizer would not be possible without the two of you, and this tournament would not be possible without the randomizer. So I'm incredibly indebted to you for that. I'd like to thank Hobbs for helping me with the tracker that we use in the tournament. That would also not be possible without him. His work on the back end for the web development there was integral to getting that on stream. I'd like to thank Wilson for his spectacular intro videos. You've seen them at the beginning of each of our matches, and they're all just amazing and great. And I look forward to more of those from him. Next, our restreamers. I don't even know how many games we restreamed. I know there was over 100 just in the Swiss round, and then many more in the bracket stage. And we restreamed most of the games, which is incredibly impressive. Vooligen's telling me there were 150 Swiss matches, and he doesn't know how many were in the bracket either. So I'd like to thank all of our restreamers, Zedu, Griffs, Hydra, Richard, Smashy, Stinger, Tara, and myself for volunteering for every one of those matches. I'd also like to thank all of the rest of our volunteers, all of the runners, for also putting in a ton of time and everything into this. There's just too many to name. They're all listed in the credits, which will be played after this, so check that out. Thank you, everyone. And then I'd like to thank all of the planners. I can't do this tournament on my own. I have help from a lot of really great people. All of the tournament planners are a joy to work with. And I'd like to thank some people for some special things they did. For working on the tournament format, I'd like to thank Sigma, Hobbs, Rory, and Richard. For work on the layouts, I'd like to thank Hydra and Tara. For the background videos, which you can see on stream right now, I'd like to thank Hydra and Griffs. I'd like to thank Richard for helping me out in doing the volunteer assignments, as well as kind of taking the lead on a lot of the tracking and commentary side of that. And then to Richard and Smashy for highlighting videos on Speed Gaming. We have a lot of matches that happen, and every one of those videos needs to be highlighted. So they've had a lot of work. I think we have a lot more to highlight. So that's a huge workload. So thanks to them for helping with that. I'd like to thank Speed Gaming. This wouldn't be possible to have on Speed Gaming without their approval, and they give us a lot of latitude to restream our own setup, which lets us do some of the cool things like our background videos, our intros. Speed Gaming has done so much to help us out, especially Fiesel and Adirondack Rick. I owe you guys so much for helping us out and giving us this platform to show off our tournament. And it wouldn't be possible without Speed Gaming. So thank you so much to you guys. In case anyone didn't know, I'd like to also point out that we did have a doubles finals last weekend, and Sigma and Raziel won that. So if you missed that, you should definitely go watch those matches. It was fantastic. So congrats to them, and congrats to Sigma for winning here in this incredible match. And finally, I'd like to thank all of the viewers and all of the Ori community. You guys are amazing. This wouldn't be possible without all of you, and thank you so much for your continued support and for accepting me as a member of the community. This is just, I don't have words to describe how thankful I am for this community and for what you guys have done. And with that, this is the end of the tournament, although I'm sure we'll have future tournaments coming up to be decided. But thank you everyone for watching, and have a good night.